totalitarian nature. Now, we can talk about what happened in 48. We can talk about what happened with Taiwan. We can talk about everything else. But Kevin, it's a reality. The Cultural Revolution in China killed millions of people so that people would remember that they had to remain silent. What you're saying is, I've had enough with China, but
you're good with it?
What's happening, everybody? Kevin O'Leary recently appeared on MSNBC to discuss the importance of continued economic pressure on China due to their unfair, unsustainable, and flat-out illegal trade practices. The host, Jose Diaz-Balart, pushed back on Kevin O'Leary with a weak, well, that's just how China is, throw your hands up and return to the status quo attitude. Kevin O'Leary, however, didn't budge on his hardline stance and emphasized the importance and urgency of correcting the current incongruent trade relationship between China and the United States. This is from April 10th, but you probably haven't seen it. It's extremely relevant, and I think we should talk about where we currently stand with China and the trade war. Anyway, let's watch Kevin O'Leary emphatically set straight yet another MSNBC clown on the reality of where we stand with China and what needs to happen between our two countries for the United States to prosper and flourish. Let's go.
They cheat, they steal, they don't play by the rules, and I've had enough. And so I would like this thing worked out. I don't care about the volatility. I don't care if Trump ratchets it up 25% a day.
What do you mean? Wait, Kevin, what do you mean you don't care about volatility if volatility has a direct impact on us as the consumers?
Because we have to fix this problem once and for all. It's killing us. It's killing small business in America. It's killing large businesses. All the IP these guys steal. You go back and look at all of their technological advancements, and this is on personal estimation, you're going to find source code from American companies back 4 decades ago. These guys don't play by the rules. And administration after administration, whether it be European or American, have not dealt with this. It's enough. We've got to solve this problem.
Okay.
Now, if we have to squeeze Chinese heads to the wall, as I said yesterday when I was testifying, so be it. I'm willing to live with the volatility to get the long situation settled. I want to compete in China. I want to open up those markets.
If what you're saying is carried out to its ultimate solution, you're talking about the fact that China, the regime, has a system in place that is able to manipulate the world, its currency, and everything else because of its totalitarian nature. Now, we can talk about what happened in 48. We can talk about what happened with Taiwan. We can talk about everything else. But Kevin, it's a reality. The Cultural Revolution in China killed millions of people so that people would remember that they had to remain silent. What you're saying is, I've had enough with China,
but you're good with it?
No,
you're okay with it?
No. On the contrary, but what I'm asking you is, what is the solution to dealing with China, a system that systematically violates human rights,
Here's how
and that is able to use?
Well, you asked me, I'm going to tell you. You got Xi.
Okay.
He's the supreme leader for life. What keeps him in power?
Yes.
Keeping people employed and fed. Now, when you shut down a factory, I think Janice Mackey-Ferrer just on before me, he's talked about this. When you shut down a factory, you put thousands, if not tens of thousands of people unemployed in China. They take burning torches, just like in a Frankenstein movie, up to the castle, and that's a bad outcome for the supreme leader. He knows that. Now, what's the largest consumer market on earth? The United States. Almost 40% of all goods consumed worldwide. What's the largest GDP? 25 or 26% GDP of the world? The United States of America. China needs the United States of America. We have the upper hand right now.
I feel sympathy for both consumers and investors that are experiencing this pain. So I'm not dismissing that at all, and I'm not dismissing the severity of it. However, as Americans, whether we like the fact that we have to endure this pain now or not, we're too far in this thing. As a country, we have to see this through. The trade imbalance with China and the grand scale which they rip us off and lie and cheat needs to be resolved at some point. If Trump just backs down now with nothing to show for it, we will have gone through all of the stock market volatility for nothing. And still, at some point down the road, we'll have to go through an even tougher financial patch. Wouldn't all of us rather take one beating than two? Because if we don't handle this now and see it through, We are just kicking the can down the road like we do with everything else. The reality from China's perspective that you don't see on the news, shipping containers are piling up at ports. Business owners are loaded with product that they literally, not figuratively, literally can't give away. These are good signs. These are the things that need to continue to happen for some movement on China's part. So I'm optimistic. Let's watch the rest of the video, and I've got a few comments for the end.
We have the cards. Now's the time to settle this because we may not be the largest economy forever, but right now we can squeeze Chinese, and I'm talking about the government, not the people, to comply with the laws and get a level playing field between China and the United States of America. If it takes a little volatility, a little indigestion, a little acid reflux, I don't care. I want this thing worked out now because I can show you countless occurrences of where I have backed, and as an investor, a company that gets to $5 million in sales with a consumer good or service on Amazon, on Alibaba, and then as soon as it hits $5 million, it's knocked off. They steal the IP, they manufacture it there, they sell it back into this market. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with that anymore.
That's the nature of the regime. So what you're calling for is a regime change in China?
No. We don't have to change the regime. Xi has to come to the table and understand he's got to work this out. Otherwise, there's a bad outcome for him. And listen, there's something else you should be aware of. And I saw this happen yesterday. It's now public information. This Paul Atkins guy was confirmed for the head of the SEC. And why that matters, I don't know if you saw that letter from Rick Scott. What he said, I'm not going to confirm you unless you agree to uphold the law that the previous administration did not uphold about delisting Chinese companies that do not abide by GAAP. There's billions of market cap right now listed on NASDAQ and NYSE companies that I have to compete with. I have to pay for the compliance costs. I have to be transparent. I have to abide by the law, and they don't. And they raise money with the same bankers I use, and I have to compete with them. And they're not being transparent. They have to get delisted. And Atkins, I guess, they must have had an agreement because he got confirmed. As soon as he gets sworn in, start delisting these Chinese companies. This law was modified to only give them 2 years to abide and actually comply, and they didn't. So delist them. Why should I have to compete with them? Let's squeeze them. Just keep going and going and going until they start complying. That's what I want.
So I want to talk about where Kevin O'Leary's talked about Rick Scott's kind of condition to confirm Atkins. What Rick Scott and all of us should be requiring of Atkins is to enforce the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act. It was signed between us and China in 2020. Kevin explained it just in case you didn't catch it. It requires any Chinese companies listed on American exchanges, which is a market cap of like 1.3 trillion, I think I saw. The Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act, which was, by the way, created to address China specifically, says if a company fails to comply for 3 consecutive years, talk about leeway, they'll be delisted from the United States market. And when we say comply, we're talking about applying with GAAP. It's generally accepted accounting principles. Even though I think 3 years is a long time, I think that act is perfect. You know what the problem is? It's really similar to what happened at the border under Joe Biden. No one's enforcing it. Anyway, that's what Rick Scott was demanding, and as American citizens, we should be demanding, because it'll far from solve all our problems with China, but it's a step in the right direction. What may irritate me the most, since I watch clips about this stuff all day, is that I never hear ideas from anyone in the mainstream liberal media, even economic experts who, in my experience, especially on liberal mainstream media, always seem to be wrong, by the way. All I hear from them is complaining and let's go back to the status quo where we just bend over for China. As I've probably made clear in this video, to me, this is the single most important issue facing the country and will have a major impact on the future of the United States, however it ends. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like watching Kevin O'Leary have to explain like a toddler to economic experts the purpose and importance of Donald Trump's strategy, then click on one of the videos that's about to pop up on your screen. Otherwise, as always, I've got the best viewers on the planet. I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day to watch my video. Never forget, Jesus loves you. See you guys.